So how did you get to be a superstar?
Superstar.
Tell
me what you're doing.
Yeah, what is this for?
This is for Relay for Life, and it's to help basically recruit people to join, because we need some more people to help out and raise money to fight the battle of cancer.
That's a nice thing you're doing. So who's gonna see this?
The whole world.
The whole world?
No, I'm just kidding.
We are so excited to be here today in this lovely purple room to talk about Relay for Life. As you know, the American Cancer Society Relay for Life has a signature color, and that is purple. So if you can't see us, it's because we've blended into the room. I want to introduce you to Marcy Brown. She is a longtime volunteer. She's just so involved in her community and in what we do in the fight against cancer. And then right here, we have Jesse Pizzagna. He's a student at Tecumseh High School.
Hi, I'm Wendy Pizzagna.
Hi, I'm Jesse Pizzagna.
We've been involved in Relay for Life for 6 years. Jesse has gone through treatments, and we'll let him share.
We found out from 10 days in the hospital that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and we found out through different tests, and then after the tests were done and they thought for sure it was, did a biopsy on the lymph node that was in my chest. And I had undergone treatments through August. In August they did a scan, and in October they did a scan. And the one in October said that my cancer had came back. And they were in my shoulder and two in my chest, and then there were some in my thymus gland. I'm here in the hospital right now getting, they said, aggressive treatments. And then after my treatments, hopefully they said this won't be my last one, that I'll have a bone marrow transplant, and then I'll have to go through, I think, 50 to 60 days after having a bone marrow transplant, that I go with 2 weeks of radiation, and hopefully that'll take care of it. Oh, and this is my chemo like drippy thing.
And
the second chemo, and my third chemo is coming up next. These machines beep all the time and they get annoying.
he's been out touring around the hospital today. He's been giving these little purple Relay teddy bears to a bunch of small children. He actually had quite a smile on this, I don't know, she's probably 5 years old, cute little blonde, and she just had this big old smile on her face and said thank you, and she's in for treatments. You could tell she probably wasn't feeling real well, but it put a nice smile on her face.
Well, last year, before the first time that I found out that I had cancer, I had went up to my choir teacher and asked her if I could put a relay jar in her room to collect money. And at the end of the year, I collected $118. And then I asked her a second time the next year when I was in 8th grade. And she said, sure, that'll be fine. And so I put it out there, and it was going kind of slow at first. I had put candy out there to see if people would take a piece of candy for like a donation or something. And then when everybody at the school found out that I had cancer, they started donating. People or kids were coming up to my choir teacher and said, or with $20 and said, this is my allowance money, I want to give it towards Relay. She held a concert for me, and she had me come up and sing the last song.
I'd also like to invite Jesse Pizzagna up here. Where is Jesse? And we are raising money for Relay for Life. And if you want to, okay, I'm just going to talk about these young people, because watching them respond to the news about Jesse has been amazing. I've had 5th and 6th graders come in to me and hand me a $20 bill and say, this is my allowance, I want to give it to Relay for Life. Now when you're 9 and 10, $20 is a lot of money. And kids have been bringing in money. We have, Jesse, what's the total? Where are we at right now? Over $1,700 have
what an emotional night. Yeah. The kids were clapping and screaming for Jesse, and the teacher went running across the stage, and Mom got a little emotional. It was quite a night to hear all those kids just cheering on Jesse. And just the love in the air was just wonderful. Bless you.
I raised almost $5,000. Mm-hmm. Well, when I first found out in April, the first thing that came to my mind was that I would be able to walk in the Survivor Victory Lap with my aunt, and that's been battling cancer for 3.5 years now. People bought me all these luminarias, and altogether I think I had like 70-some. To see that many people that wanted to donate to Relay for Life was pretty neat. Oh, this is my sister Danielle, and she's been taking care of me through all of this, and she'd like to say a few things.
Well, we have a lot of things planned for each month. Right?
Yeah, and she's been taking care of the Tecumseh High School Challenge because I'm not able to go back to school right now, and so I can't be in 2 places at once, basically.
I started getting involved in Relay from after my mom lost her friend, and when my grandma got sick, and when she passed away from it, and also with my brother, and my Aunt Shay, of course. Wow, I don't know. Yeah, and I do want to find a cure. I can't do this no more, I'm sorry. I can't.
I'll be okay.
Sorry.
When somebody has cancer in your family, not only hits the person that has it, but it also hits your family, you know, physically, emotionally, and just it's a hard time for all of them. And we'd like to see that not have to happen anymore.
I'm Lori Brock. I'm Jesse's social worker here on 7 Mott. Social workers help with a couple things. We tell people about resources that are available to help them through this, and then we just provide support in coping with what's happening. And actually, this is such a fine young man that he does very well with the support of his family and the love of his friends as well.
I've been involved with Relay for Life for, this would be my 6th year. And the reason why I joined was for the same reasons that my sister had. My Aunt Devana is what I call her, my mom's best friend. She was like a second mom to me. And we lost her of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And my grandma, she was a special person to all of us. And she passed away of lung cancer. And my Aunt Shay, that's battling ovarian cancer, she's been battling it for 3.5 years, and she's in a stage 3 right now. I
got involved really heavily this year. I'm trying to get teams involved and sponsors. I've talked to a few people, and if they're at this meeting watching the tape, I just want them to know how important this is to everybody, really. Not just to my family, but it could happen to any one of our families out there. They're coming up with new medicine all the time, and the only way they can do that is by the Relay and different other, other organizations giving them money. I don't think I really knew exactly how important it was till this happened. And Jesse and I have talked, our whole family has talked, that things happen for a reason. And if this will open other people's eyes, maybe this is why it happened. But there are new things. A lot of the drugs that they've given Jess, as they're new. They're brand new, and I think one of them they're giving him this time is to help him with his nausea, and the doctor said it was brand new, and it's only because people are donating money, and that's the only way they can do it. And hopefully someday we'll get rid of this horrible disease.
I'm Elisa Mullins. I'm a second-year fellow, which is a physician in training here at the University of Michigan. One of the biggest things I'd like to tell everybody is that research is really, really important, particularly in the field of oncology and pediatric oncology. 50 years ago, there were some diagnoses in cancer that were universally fatal that now we have cure rates as high as 90%. So the research behind that and the money that's been raised to fund that research is very, very important. And it's important for kids like Jesse that we all love and know. And there's kids out there that everyone probably knows that has benefited from this research. So keep up the good work.
And all the kids and adults can live to, you know, see their grandkids go up, and the kids can run outside and be happy, and they don't have to spend a week in the hospital like a lot of them do, or months in the hospital. So that's why I'm just asking if there's people out there that I've talked to that about being sponsors or being teams, if they would please consider it, because it does help not only my family but hopefully someday your family, if it needs to, you know, if it has to be done. And I'm very proud of the way my son has been handling this. I see what the medication does to him, and I don't, just by looking at him, I'm very proud of him. He does an awesome job. I don't know if I could handle everything that he's going through. His dad works a lot, and I've learned to slow down and enjoy my kids and enjoy my wife. So.
10 years ago, when I came to work for the American Cancer Society, the treatments and the protocol that you have right now, Jesse, was not available. And I didn't know anything about cancer then. I didn't know that Hodgkin's disease or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma were even cancer. And I think there are a lot of people who are watching your video who don't know anything about cancer. But they know that they care about you and they love you and they want to do something to fight back. And we've visited with your family here today, and I am just so blessed and so honored that your family wanted me to be part of your video. You're the first child I've ever come to see at Mott Children's Hospital. I didn't have the courage to do that before. But you know what? We're doing everything we can possibly do to help, even if it's just saving pop bottles and donating the money to research. We're doing whatever we can, and I just love you guys so much, and I'm honored to have you as our volunteer chair people.
He's already been up here for 5 days. For 1 week, and he's up here for 5 days. He'll get out the day before Christmas Eve on Friday. So hope to go home and spend the weekend together as a family for Christmas.
The things I miss the most right now is going to church and going to school and seeing my friends.
As you know, the American Cancer Society Relay for Life is a community event that engages families and their friends in the fight against cancer in their own neighborhoods. Let's hear from Marcy and Jesse as we talk about how you can become involved.
In September, I sent a letter to my principal asking him if I could raise money for Relay for Life. At the Tecumseh High School, I got all different kinds of fundraising ideas from different students, and I put those all together in different monthly challenges. And then I had this idea that maybe I can get all the schools involved with Relay for Life in Lenawee County. I thought this challenge would be a great way to bring students together for a good cause of helping others. I'd like to introduce Marcy Brown, who has been with me through all my chemotherapy treatments and has been there for me when I needed her. She's been like a second mom to me. And Marcy, why you Relay?
Jesse, thanks for asking. And Relay for Life has been a part of my life, and I've been involved for about the last 6 years. And the reason I relay is because it's an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. And I think anytime we're given that opportunity, there's no reason we shouldn't take advantage of that opportunity. And it's people like Jesse who have been able to observe him go through this challenge and then see how the American Cancer Society is a part of that and has helped him and many others like him. My commitment started with being a chair of the finance committee, and then last year, for the first time, I was asked to help with the fundraising efforts. and finding sponsors. And we have many businesses in our community who we certainly thank for their sponsorship and their fundraising efforts. I think in the past a lot of businesses think that sponsorship is the only way, and it's really not. It's just one of several ways that they can become a part of that. For example, you could as a business form a relay team. You can become just an individual donor within the places of employment. You or maybe some of your employees would like to do an individual donation. We're going to be asking the businesses around town if they would like to just simply provide Luminaria forms for them or their employees to take, so that at the event, if you've never been there, where they announce the names of people that it is in memory of. It's a very special, touching time and a good way to remember those people. We had several businesses who didn't form a team, maybe were not a corporate sponsor, but they did fundraising efforts. They held their own bake sales, they put out jars just like Jesse talked about, and that's a very simple way to do something. And then another way that we would love to have anybody's help is if you would like to volunteer to join the committee for Relay for Life, just as I did 6 years ago. And then of course the final way is to become a corporate sponsor. So I look forward to meeting with some of the business owners just as I did last year, and we appreciate everybody's help in joining in against this fight against cancer. I would like to turn it back over to Cynthia Pepple, who is going to share with you how the American Cancer Society has been involved and engaged against the fight against cancer for nearly a century.
Marcy, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk a little bit about the American Cancer Society at work in our community. Years ago, it was just a dreadful situation when young people and older adults had to go through treatment. It was just not the way it is today. And I think Jesse is a perfect example of how the American Cancer Society over the last 80 years has funded researchers to develop protocols that would improve the quality of life for the cancer patient and their families, not only in terms of treatment, but another part of what the American Cancer Society does is educate people about the importance of early detection and early treatment of all kinds of cancers. Again, to summarize real quickly, your American Cancer Society has battled cancer through a four-pronged approach: research, education, advocacy, and service. And all of those modules are at work across the country, across the world, and right here in Lenawee community. We had one committee meeting, and we had about 20 people there, and they were volunteering for what part of the Relay Planning Committee they wanted to be. The next committee meeting, 2 weeks later, Jesse and Wendy came in and said, "Cynthia, we have something we want to share with you." And Jesse shared with me that his cancer was back and that they would almost immediately be starting aggressive treatment. But Jesse said that afternoon, "Well, Mom, what time is that committee meeting tonight? We need to be there. We still have work to do." And so we challenge you today, do whatever you can to be part of Relay for Life and help the American Cancer Society, help Jesse, and help everyone that you know who's had a personal story about cancer. Well, I know there's way too much there, but I want us to be able to focus on how Jesse knows the importance of don't give up. We have to just keep working because we're so close.